Today's video, I'm gonna show you 5 different recipes. You might be able to do in 5 minutes, you'll probably do in 10 minutes, and they are all very high protein meals. I got all the ingredients. These will make several servings, and my grocery bill was about $100.
So much flavor, so easy, so much food. Wow, that one might be my favorite one yet.
Without further ado, let's get into the first recipe. Thanks for clicking on this video. I wanna do more food videos, so you clicking on this is helping my dreams come a little bit more true, and I really appreciate that. Let's get into it. Our first recipe, the ingredients you're gonna need is rice paper, smoked salmon, cream cheese, avocado, some sort of green. You could use spinach, lettuce. I'm gonna use bean sprouts. I just feel like it'll complement all this well. And then tamari or soy sauce. I'm gluten-free. All these recipes are gonna be gluten-free, so I am using tamari. So this is really just an assembly. Everything is just ready to assemble. So what I'm first gonna do is soak this rice paper in some water so that it becomes soft and sticky and malleable. Depending on how much cream cheese and salmon you use, this is gonna have about 35 grams of protein in it in one wrap. So let's get to assembling. You could totally fill this with rice too. Obviously this is made out of rice, so I'm like, oh, we already got rice kind of represented. But that's a great, affordable filler food to put inside of this as well. But also it can be such a kitchen sink meal. Like you got random vegetables, cucumbers would be really good in this. Anything, just toss them in. I'm gonna try to wrap this kind of burrito style. And just for fun, I'm gonna cut this in half. There we have it. I would definitely recommend eating this by dipping it into your soy sauce or tamari. You could also add some wasabi into it. You could add some chili paste, chili crisp. Next, we're gonna do a very easy pasta dish. I had to make a couple mods. My favorite type of high protein noodles is edamame noodles. They're so good. They go really fast. They have so much fiber, so much protein. They taste delicious. My store is out of edamame noodles, so I'm using lentil, which is a very close second. This is also very high in protein. Technically, this box is 4 servings. I eat half a box, I'm gonna be honest. So if you eat as much as I eat, then this alone has 42 grams of protein, but we're gonna be using that plus a bone broth packet, optional, you don't have to do this. I get this from Thrive Market. This has another 10 grams of protein. So already this meal alone has over 53 grams of protein. I'm gonna make a sauce out of the bone broth packet and some salted butter. I'm gonna top it with some sun-dried tomato. Oh, I forgot, a little more protein. Some cheese to grate over top. You can do Asiago, Parmesan, any sort of hard cheese. And then my store was also out of basil. So in place of basil, I'm just gonna garnish with a bit of arugula, but ideally basil would be the best here. You could also substitute ghee or coconut oil, avocado oil, whatever you want. I'm team butter. There, I said it. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my bone broth packet and some pasta water to create a bit of a sauce here. And just whisk this until all the clumps are dissolved. This is how I like to check the consistency. If you run a spatula or a spoon through it and the line stays, that's a pretty good consistency to coat some pasta. So we're about there. Pasta's done. Just gonna quickly toss it in our little brown butter bone sauce. I'm gonna add in some chopped sun-dried tomatoes for some brightness, some acidity. Also just a little color in the dish is always nice. I'm going to just grate some of my cheese on top. This is an herbed Asiago. And if your store had basil like a normal store, this would be the time to add that for a little bit of herbaceousness and just more color, honestly. Who knew a big bowl of pasta could have probably 55 grams of protein once we calculate the butter and the cheese on this too. It's like warm, hearty, meaty, buttery, but like at the same time not heavy. Definitely try this with lentil or edamame noodles if you can find it. curry chicken salad. Yet again, simple, just assembling. Like none of this needs any cooking. But the thing about chicken salad that's so great, obviously, you can eat it as a sandwich. You can eat it as a wrap. You can eat it with crackers. I'm gonna turn it into little lettuce cups just as a way to get in one more color throughout the day. This, per serving that I would eat, has about 40 grams of protein. Of course, there's the chicken, and then we also have cashews. And then we're gonna just season it to taste. Really, it's so simple. I'm gonna see the consistency of this and see if I wanna add any water to kind of loosen it. But honestly, at first glance, this is looking not that bad. I'm just gonna add a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and then I'm going to add in our chicken and kind of just like shred it into our little sauce situation. I'm gonna do a pretty fine dice on some red onion. This is totally up to preference with like how oniony you want your chicken salad to be. There's a chance you work in an office and you're like, I don't think I want onion breath all day. And if that's the case, then great. I've already cut these grapes in half. You could quarter these grapes though if you'd like. I do think a little bit of sweetness and a little pop of brightness is nice. And then a little crunch with these cashews. I'm just gonna roughly chop them up a little bit so that you don't get a whole cashew randomly, but instead you get just a little fun bite of something. Now I'm just going to incorporate all these ingredients together. Could have maybe used a bigger bowl, that's on me. And then serve them up however you want. As mentioned, I'm gonna do little lettuce cups. Just is a fun way to get in some greens. So I'm gonna spoon this into here and just make a little plate of this. This one is quicker than 5 minutes, arguably. There we have it. So simple, so easy. Let's taste it. Curry paste, so many ingredients are in one thing that you can scoop and add in. I love the zing of the lime matched with the super sweetness of the grape to kind of just balance everything out. I might start making this pretty often for myself. For our next recipe, I'm gonna be mixing two different more viral trendy things that I've seen all over the internet, both of which I've never really played with very much. One of them, I don't know if you're on this side of like TikTok or Reels, but they're like the big savory warm bean dip bowl situation. They normally use like butter beans and they show someone running a piece of toast through them. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. But I thought, what else is really viral because high protein? Cottage cheese. So we're gonna mix these things together. If you eat the equivalent of the serving of half of this can of beans with all of these things together, you are going to be getting 47 grams of protein. It is vegetarian. We're gonna start by whipping out the blender. Actually, you know what I've been really thankful for lately is I bought an immersion blender for like $14 and it makes everything so much easier. If you have a normal blender, just throw all this into your blender, but I love how this is just easy cleanup. I'm gonna use all of this cottage cheese because I might make more servings of this in the future. And then I'm going to use this whole container of pesto. This is just from Sprouts. You can use any pesto. I also feel like this recipe would be really good if you're a Trader Joe's fan with the zong sauce. It's like a very spicy cilantro jalapeno sauce. I feel like that with the creaminess of the cottage cheese would be so delicious. And good chance I'll have to loosen this with some water. You know what? I am gonna just go ahead and add a bit of water. I just added about a quarter cup. This is my immersion blender. Like I said, very affordable. Just got it off Amazon. I will link it for y'all if you are curious to add this to your collection, but for little things like this, it is so much easier than cleaning a full blender. A little optional move, if you'd like to hide some additional vegetables and then also make the sauce a bit more vibrant, now's a great time to add in spinach, arugula, any sort of green. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this arugula before it goes bad. I'm gonna start with heating the beans just a bit to warm them all the way through. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of avocado oil. Toss them in here, keep them warm. Just adding in enough of our cottage cheese pesto sauce until it feels like a good consistency. Now for a little zing, I'm gonna add some chili crisp on top, some flaky salt, and some toast. So let's try a bite of this. Wow. That one might be my favorite one yet. I just love chili crisp, I think.
So much flavor, so easy, so much food. But I still have one more for y'all, so let's go do it.
Last but not least, this one I'm quite excited for. I just realized this is actually a fully vegan option. This is going to be a Ponzu edamame salad bowl with the option of making it an edamame and crispy potato bowl. The thing is, I'm using hash browns for these crispy potatoes, or sorry, tater tots, which you can find vegan tater tots for sure. But these do take about 15 minutes. I just use my little tiny toaster oven over here. It took about 15 minutes. So I feel like in order to include this recipe into this video concept, I'm gonna say, here's an edamame bowl, but if you wanna make it really good and spend 5 more minutes, we're gonna add some tater tots into this. Our ingredients are edamame, you can buy this pre-shelled, cucumber, cilantro, arugula, ponzu, olive oil, red pepper flakes, flaky sea salt, and the optional tater tot. So I have about 1.5 cups of edamame here. This is about 28 grams of protein. So that's pretty much the majority of the protein in this dish, but it still is a good amount of protein, especially considering this is a vegan meal. Next, I have 2 small Persian cucumbers, and I have a handful of arugula. I don't want this to be too salady, so it's not a ton. And before I toss this, I'm gonna leave the cilantro on the side. I'm gonna go ahead and build our little ponzu vinaigrette dressing. This dressing is literally just going to be a good drizzle of this ponzu and a good drizzle of some good quality olive oil. Yes, I'm a graza girly. I don't care if you think it's hyper trendy. I think it's delicious. I'm gonna add a big pinch of flaky salt too before giving this a toss, and some red pepper flakes. Now I'm gonna toss this up. And for our tater tots, I would like to make these kind of like a smashed potato tater tot situation. So I'm just gonna take a glass cup, and smash these guys to where they're little crispy potato smashes, and toss these in last so that they don't get too soggy. And then top this with some cilantro. And there we go. So much fiber, so many veggies, probably about 28 grams of protein. Pretty easy, like a very minimal effort.
The potatoes are like nature's crouton, which is nice. The cilantro, the red pepper, really adds a little something something. The ponzu is just kind of a little funky and acidic. This is my 5th meal of the day, but I could eat that whole thing right now. Leftover avocado would also be so good in that. Hopefully this video series provided you with a little bit of value and brought you some easy, somewhat affordable, high protein lunch or dinner ideas for your family this week. Let me know if you like the series. It was definitely a bit of a labor of love, planning, recipe testing, and just kind of putting it all together. But if it's something that you enjoy, we will absolutely keep doing videos like this in the future. So you let me know. But thanks for clicking on it. Thanks for being here. I'll try to put as much information as I can down below. And I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Okay, bye.